I blatantly forgot I would need a snack today because it's Aladdin. So I hope you have your snacks. My parents are out of town again, and this is all they had. So, let's go. Welcome back to Every Disney Movie Ever. My name is Jess and I'm watching Every Disney Movie Ever. Today I'm going to talk about Aladdin. Aladdin is a 1992 animated theatrical release. It's written and directed by Clements and John Musker, both of whom I covered in the video about The Little Mermaid. The link will be in the description. 7 of the 8 supervising animators I have already covered, so they will be listed and linked in the description. The only animator I have not covered in the past is Eric Goldberg. He was the supervising animator of Genie, and he's best known for The Princess and the Frog, Fantasia 2000, Pocahontas, and Looney Tunes Back in Action. The film is edited by Lee Peterson, who's best known for Pocahontas, Little Mermaid, Dinosaur, and This. The music is by Alan Menken, with lyrics by Howard Ashman and Tim Rice. Howard Ashman and Alan Menken I covered in the video about The Little Mermaid. They will be listed and linked in the description. Tim Rice is best known for Evita, the live-action version of Beauty and the Beast, The Lion King, and This. Tim Rice took over doing the lyrics after Howard Ashman passed away. The film is also written by Ted Elliott and Terry Rossio. Ted Elliott is best known for Shrek, The Lone Ranger, Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl, and This. Terry Rossio is best known for Deja Vu, Shrek, Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl, and This. Aladdin is based off a story of the same name from the famous book 1001 Nights, or Arabian Nights. It is a collection of centuries of stories that was created during the Islamic Golden, not the stories, but the book was created during the Islamic Golden Age, which is anywhere from 790 to 1050 AD. But Aladdin wasn't added until the 18th century in like 1709-ish by a man named Antoine Galland. He was a Frenchman. He got the story from a Syrian Maronite named Hanna Diyab. She was a verbal storyteller. And there are many versions of the story. The book has obviously been rewritten and re-edited and all that crap over the years. And the version of the plot summary that was available to me was the 1885 version, revised and written by Burton. Shall we compare? Aladdin is a poor young man in China. A sorcerer recruits him to pass off as a brother to his own dead dad, Mustafa. The sorcerer convinces Aladdin and his mother by pretending to set Aladdin up as a wealthy merchant. His real motive is to persuade Aladdin to get an oil lamp from a booby-trapped cave. The sorcerer attempts a double cross but fails, and Aladdin gets trapped in the cave. Aladdin is wearing a magical ring the sorcerer gave him to traverse the cave. He rubs his hands in frustration. A djinn appears and removes him from the cave. There's a second genie? What? Aladdin returns to his mother with the lamp. While cleaning the house, his mother rubs the lamp. A far more powerful genie is released and is bound to do the bidding of the one holding the lamp. Aladdin uses the genie to become rich, powerful, and to marry Princess Badroulbadour. I guess the whole no making people fall in love with you thing is not part of this. Genie builds a fabulous palace for Aladdin and the princess. The sorcerer hears of this and returns. He tricks the princess into trading the lamp for new ones because she has no clue of its value. The sorcerer takes all of Aladdin's things back to his home. Aladdin uses the magic ring to transport himself and the princess into the sorcerer's home. The princess uses her wiles to get the lamp back and slays the sorcerer. Okay. She uses her wile? Nah, fam, that ain't it. The palace returns to its proper place. The sorcerer's evil and more powerful brother plans to kill Aladdin. He disguises himself as an old woman known for her healing powers. Princess Badroulbadour is tricked and orders the woman to stay in the palace in case of illness. The genie warns Aladdin of the imposter and Aladdin kills him. Aladdin eventually becomes Sultan. The end. Okay, there's no real lesson in that story at all. Aladdin's kind of a brat throughout this story, I feel like. The movie has a lot of lessons. Don't try to be don't lie about yourself is kind of a lesson. Always do the right thing. Like, there's a lot of lessons in the movie compared to that. Yikes. The film stars Scott Weinger, Linda Larkin, Robin Williams, Jonathan Freeman, Frank Welker, Gilbert Gottfried, Douglas Seal, Brad Kane, and Lea Salonga. Scott Weinger plays Aladdin and is best known for Full House, Gallivant, Blackish, and This. Linda Larkin plays Jasmine and is best known for The Next Best Thing, Runaway Bride, Ralph Breaks the Internet, and this. Robin Williams plays Genie, and I covered him in the video about Popeye. The link will be in the description. Jonathan Freeman plays Jafar, and he's best known for The Producers, Shining Time Station, Kingdom Hearts, and this. Frank Welker plays Abu and The Cave of Wonders, and I covered him in the video about DuckTales Time is Money. The link will be in the description. Gilbert Gottfried plays Iago, and is best known for Problem Child, Beverly Hills Cop 2, The Adventures of Ford Fairlane, and this. Douglas Seal plays Sultan, and is best known for The Rescuers Down Under, Amadeus, Ernest Saves Christmas, and this. Brad Kane is the singing voice of Aladdin, and he is best known for Starship Troopers, Fringe, Extinction, and Black Sails. Lea Salonga is the singing voice of Jasmine, and she is best known for Les Miserables in Concert, The 25th Anniversary, The Wanderer in the Land of Elementalia, Mulan, and this. Howard Ashman pitched the movie. I had no idea Howard Ashman pitched the movie. He pitched with a 40-page treatment, and he wanted it to be a 1930s camp musical with a fat swaller like Genie, but the studio was super dismissive to his treatment and Menken's songs. Linda Wolverton then took the treatment and rewrote it into The Thief of Baghdad with a villain named Jafar and a sidekick human named Abu. And then Ron Clements and John Musker came on after they were offered 3 choices. They were offered Swan Lake, King of the Jungle, which later went on to become Lion King, and then Aladdin, and they chose Aladdin. Just before Howard Ashman passed away, him and Menken finished writing Prince Ali and Humiliate the Boy. In April of 1991, Ron Clements and John Musker showed Jeffrey Katzenberg a story reel, and Jeffrey Katzenberg said the film didn't engage and needed to be entirely rewritten. He said to lose the mom because she's a zero and to not be dependent on Ashman's vision. And he didn't change the release date of November 25th, 1992, so that day became known to everyone on staff as Black Friday. They brought in Ted Elliott and Terry Rossio to work on this script, and they got rid of the mom, they strengthened Jasmine, they got rid of a lot of songs, and everybody as a whole decided the film would take place in a fictional land called Agrabah instead of a real country. In October of 1991, Katzenberg finally was satisfied. A lot of animation was based off of caricaturist Al Hirschfeld. There's also, I learned about this thing called a cleanup crew, which is the animator, animates whatever they're animating. Like they draw whatever they're drawing, and they have that big stack of papers that's like a flip book, and then they send it to a cleanup crew because theirs is all like sketchy, right? Because they just quick drew it. And then the cleanup crew takes all of those one by one and traces them into a perfect, more defined, neat, clean line. And because of the type of art they were doing, it was very inspired by Middle Eastern culture and just Middle Eastern art and color and all of that in general. They did this thing where you do a thin line into a thicker line, back into a thin line, so it's all very defined, and it's so fascinating, and they took the extra time to do that, and it really, really adds to the movie. Aladdin was originally supposed to be 13, with a Michael J. Fox lookalike intended, but then they raised his age to 18, and they took inspiration from actors like Tom Cruise and all of that. They studied monkeys, they took Wizard of Oz inspiration for the Sultan, they used the actors' movements and expressions in the character, and Musker and Clements wrote the Genie with Robin Williams in mind, but Katzenberg suggested people like John Candy, Eddie Murphy, Steve Martin. But Williams accepted the role and recorded lines in between what he was filming for Toys, the movie Toys he was in, and he ad-libbed over 52 characters, a lot of them being celebrity impressions. 14 songs were written for the movie, but only 7 are in the film. One of the deleted songs is a song called Proud of Your Boy. That is my favorite deleted song. I will talk about it later. There was actually a lot of issues with Robin Williams when leading up to the release of this film. He agreed to do the movie for SAG scale pay, which was only $75,000, and instead of his asking $8 million. And he did it because he was so grateful to Touchstone Pictures for Good Morning Vietnam. So he wanted, to be nice and just, do that. But he had in his contract that they couldn't use his name or image to advertise the movie in marketing. And they couldn't have the Genie as more than 25% of the artwork. And Disney went back on their word, and they used Genie as more than 25% of the artwork, and they also didn't list his name or use his image, but they put his voice in every commercial for Aladdin, and Genie did take up more than 25% of the artwork, and it really hurt Robin Williams. He claimed that, you know, they own the image, that's one thing, but that's my voice that they were like taking advantage of, and he just said it wasn't cool. And Disney basically just tried to shove it on the rug and be like, a different company handles our marketing, we had no control over it. And they tried to send him a $1 million Picasso painting as an apology, but Williams, it just was all rubbing him the wrong way, so he refused to return for Return of Jafar. But then once Jeffrey Katzenberg left, Joe Roth replaced Jeffrey Katzenberg, and he issued a public apology to Robin Williams saying what they did was wrong, and Robin Williams then in turn returned for King of Thieves. The film had a budget of $28 million and made $504 million. Oh my word, it was an incredible box office success. It was also so well received. It has a 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. Ebert said Robin Williams and animation were born for one another. Chuck Jones said it was the funniest feature ever made. People could not get enough of this movie. It was so well liked. It received Oscars for Best Score and Best Original Song, and it was nominated in 3 other categories. There are actually quite a few controversies circling this film. I did not know this first one. I had never heard this. I've heard a lot of the controversies, but I've never heard this. When this movie was released, Arabian Nights, you know the part that goes, where it's flat and immense and the heat is intense. That line was originally where they cut off your ear if they don't like your face. It's barbaric, but hey, it's home. And it received a lot of backlash, so in 1993, like, I think it was literally less than a year that it had been out, they changed it to where it's flat and immense and the heat is intense. It's barbaric, but hey, it's home. I never knew that. And I was getting all mad that they were changing lyrics in the live action version, but now, like, I rewatched it and I realized some of the lyrics they changed because they had to. Like, in Arabian Nights, I liked that they changed it. He said something like, where every culture and tongue, you know, it's chaotic, but hey, it's home. I liked that a lot, actually, now that I'm realizing what the lyrics were. And then in One Jump Ahead, I always got mad that he said try a different tack, guys, but he can't say just a little snack, guys, because he didn't steal any food, so they had to like, he didn't steal food because of the way they worked it, so he had to say that. Anyway, I digress. I did not know this controversy where they cut off your ear if they don't like your face. No wonder there was a controversy. That is so racist. Oh my word. Another controversy was when Raja is like nipping at Prince Ali, Aladdin. He's like saying things like, go, good tiger, go, good tiger, while like Carpet and Genie are having a moment. And one of the lines is, good tiger, take off and go. It was being misheard as good teenager, take off your clothes. So they removed the line. And then there was people had big issues with Aladdin and Jasmine having American accents and seemingly American features, while every other character, especially villains, had some kind of accent. And then there's also like a plagiarizing-ish moment. There's a movie in the works called The Thief and the Cobbler, and it had been in the works since the 1960s, but eventually came out after Aladdin because it had so many issues. So people think The Thief and the Cobbler is a ripoff of Aladdin, but Aladdin technically was in development and made after The Thief and the Cobbler was in development, so people think there's a little bit of plagiarizing going on there. There is a live-action version of this film released in 2019. It is one of the better live-action adaptations. I actually like this live action version. I watched it right after I finished watching this because I really just wanted to see them back to back and compare, and I was such in the zone about watching it that I almost wrote down that there was a parent death. But then I was like, wait, I'm watching this for fun right now, I don't have to take notes. Oh, it was hysterical. And then there's also a Broadway musical, and the Broadway musical is also very well received and very popular, as I'm sure you can tell by the thumbnail. I own the big fancy Blu-ray, digital, diamond edition, whatever. There are a ton of special features, you guys. It's ridiculous. Like, I'm not gonna cover every single special feature, bonus feature, whatever. I'm not gonna cover every single one. I didn't even watch every single one. There's just like some that didn't interest me. So I'm gonna talk about some of my favorites, and then I'll just mention that there, there's others you know, there's making ofs, but I've read so much about the movie and I've seen a lot of the making ofs, and all of them were older making ofs that I've definitely watched on older DVDs. So I didn't want to like spend hours rewatching those because I have just told you the making of pretty much. But I'm going to talk about quite a few that I enjoyed. The first being Genie outtakes. They animated, like rough animated different versions of what Robin Williams had done in the booth, and it was so funny, and I got really emotional at the end because John Musker, Ron Clements, and Eric Goldberg were like introducing and discussing them, and they talked about Robin's passing and how Eric Goldberg got even more emotional when he saw a lot of people like just using the genie to represent and encapsulate all of who Robin was, and he was like, I can't believe that people think, you know, what I animated like encapsulated Robin Williams so well that they're using it when he died. Like, so it was just really beautiful, and I got emotional. It was so, and it was also so funny. So like, please watch those. There's also a cute tiny little bonus feature about Ron Clements and John Musker and how they've been friends for over 30 years and they've been colleagues for over how long, and just like how they work together and how they're friends, and it was just like really adorable. And then the next one is Genie 101, and I actually really loved this because it went through every celebrity impression in the movie that Genie does and explained who it was, and I knew, I think, like 95% of them. I think there was maybe one that I was a little unclear on, but I pretty much knew all of them because they're pretty pop culture-y. You pretty much, you know, historically know those like impressions, and it was just, I loved that little thing. Like, if you don't know all the impressions he does, definitely check out like Genie 101. It was really informative. There were 2 bonus features, I'm sure from the history of all the bonus features they've done over the course of time, that dealt with behind the mic or the voices of Aladdin, and I live for this stuff. This is the stuff I could watch hours of, where it's just the actors in the booth doing their lines, trying different things. I live for that. That is like, it's like being on, like seeing what's on set. Like, that's what I want to do. Like, that's what I want to see. I mean, I have been on set, I've done that, but that's what I want to see. Them in the booth, like seeing Robin bounce off the walls and doing all his stuff, and then seeing Scott Weinger and seeing Linda and seeing all of them like do their character was so fascinating. And then at the same time hearing an interview to see who like sounds exactly like their character versus who's doing a little bit of a voice, and it was just, I love those so much. I could watch hours of that. Another special feature was A Whole New World recording session. I have seen this before. I watch this pretty regularly actually because I love it so much. It's Brad and Leah walking in and meeting the orchestra, and then going into the booth and doing a first pass singing of A Whole New World, and it is just the cutest thing in the entire world. I love it so much. First of all, Brad Kane is so adorable. He's very cute. I'm into it. And then Leah is so little. She was like 21 when she recorded it, and it's like their first time singing it, and you can tell like the little differences between that and the final recording and how nervous they are. And like there's a part where like Brad like looks at the camera like, oh boy, and like it's just so cute. I love it so much. It's one of my favorite things ever to come out of the bonus features of this film. There's a whole section of deleted songs. You Can Count on Me, Humiliate the Boy, Why Me, My Finest Hour, and Proud of Your Boy. A lot of them were all villain songs for Jafar because they couldn't figure out where to work in a villain song for him or give him a whole song or whatever. And then You Can Count on Me is Aladdin singing to a boo. I don't know. And then Proud of Your Boy is my favorite deleted song. I don't know if I've ever gone on a rant about Proud of Your Boy, but I love this song. I'm so sad it was cut from the film, but it makes sense. They got rid of the mom. Aladdin can't sing Proud of Your Boy to no parent. And everyone on staff agrees it was the hardest song to lose. Alan was the most attached to it because Howard had written it, and right after Howard's death was when they were getting rid of the song, and he was very attached to it and he fought it, but they had to get rid of the mom. So later they had Clay Aiken record the song. If you don't know who Clay Aiken is, I'm so sorry that you haven't been blessed to hear his beautiful voice. He was supposed to win the 2nd season of American Idol, and he didn't. Or 3rd season? I don't remember. Ruben Studdard won instead of him, and it was a travesty and a scandal. But anyway, Clay Aiken finally like came on, and they had Clay Aiken sing Proud of Your Boy, and it was so well done. It's my favorite thing in the entire world. I love Proud of Your Boy. And then when I saw Alan Menken in concert with Brie Janelle and Selena, he started talking about the songs that got deleted from Aladdin, and I was like, oh, he's gonna sing Proud of Your Boy. He's gonna sing Proud of Your Boy. And then he tells us that his dad passed away a few months ago, and his mother had passed away like 3 days ago or something, or vice versa. And we were all like, and then he sang Proud of Your Boy. There was not a dry eye in that freaking auditorium. I don't know what you want to call it. There was not a dry eye in that theater. I was sobbing to hear him sing Proud of Your Boy 3 days after one of his parents died. Oh, it was so good. So good. That's it for the bonus features that I really enjoyed and wanted to like super watch and talk about. There were so many. There were deleted scenes. There were things about the Broadway show. There were games. There were, just animation tests. There was stuff talking about Al Hirschfeld and his art, and there's just so many. So if you're interested, please, if you can, go watch them. They're really interesting, but just I don't want to spend an hour and a half talking about the bonus features. Sorry. Let me start off by saying I love this movie. This is actually probably the Renaissance movie that I rewatched the most, which is hilarious because I would argue that Little Mermaid's my favorite of the Renaissance films, but I can watch Aladdin all the time. Like, anytime someone wants to watch a Disney movie and we really can't pick, but we want to watch like an animated Disney movie, I'm like, throw on Aladdin. I just don't know. It's just so funny. It's so good. I just love Aladdin. It's literally like my most rewatched Renaissance film, probably. Maybe because I like murdered Little Mermaid when I was little. Like I watched that into the ground, and now like, watching Little Mermaid, I love doing it. But like, I know it front to back to front. Like I know Little Mermaid, and I don't know why, but I definitely think Aladdin is my most rewatched Renaissance film, and it's just so good. The animation, the sound design, the sound mixing, it's just all so stunning and so superb. Frank Welker is unreal. It's almost like he's the modern day Mel Blanc, although Mel Blanc was alive, I think at the same time as Frank Welker, but obviously Frank Welker was super young when Mel Blanc was old. But if you don't know who Mel Blanc is, Mel Blanc did every single Looney Tune voice, and then did a couple things for Disney, but everything he did for Disney got cut out. So, which is so sad because Mel Blanc, he's so iconic. But Frank Welker is like the modern day Mel Blanc. He can literally make any sound with his mouth. It's insane. So he's Abu and the Cave of Wonders. And later in Lion King, he does all the roars into a trash can. Like he does everything. Any noises they need, it's Frank Welker. Any random character that needs to sound crazy, it's Frank Welker. It's so nuts. He has an interview in those bonus features where he we worked on a realistic monkey sound, and then we worked it into oh, he's sad, blah, 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 and he just starts doing them, and you're like, how are you making that sound? So insane. And then Jim Cummings, who's also a very famous Disney voice, obviously, is every bit player male character in this movie. So it's so funny because I can pick Jim Cummings out of a lineup now. His voice is so in tune to my ear because he's so many characters and I've covered him a million times now at this point that I know his voice. So every time a male character in the Bazaar or a guard or whatever spoke, I'd be like, oh, Jim Cummings again. It's just Jim Cummings. Because why? Who cares? So that was all hysterical. And then I used to never be able to tell the difference between Scott and Brad. Scott's the speaking voice of Aladdin, Brad's the singing voice. Now I can tell the difference, but I still think they did an incredible job matching them to the point where it doesn't matter. It's indiscernible. You could buy that Scott Wagner is singing like that. So there aren't any parent deaths in this film because when referring to Aladdin's parents, all they say is he hasn't got them. So there's no way of knowing if his dad has left, which King of Thieves, isn't it? He left. And then his mom, they don't mention. So no parent death. And then they don't mention Jasmine's mom at all. So absolutely no mention of parents. Genie, Iago, and Carpet rule the humor of this movie, obviously. Genie, we all know. Genie's hilarious. Heck, we all know Iago's pretty funny. Super funny. Iago's great. Carpet is my slept on, hilarious little buddy. I love Carpet. He's my favorite character. I know it's such a random character to be my favorite, but I adore Carpet. I think Carpet is so funny. Carpet is the only one that applauds when Genie asks for applause. In the like little quick French scene of the restaurant that Genie puts up, Carpet's cheers, like clinks his glass with a booze. Like Carpet is always right there being super funny in the background, and it kills me. He's also the ultimate wingman, or it's also the ultimate wingman by making Aladdin kiss Jasmine. Like, I love Carpet. Carpet is the best, okay? Jasmine is incredible. She's such a strong character. I love her, and in the live action, I think they just went the extra mile with her. I think she's just such a strong character, and they did a great job. There is a Pinocchio Easter egg. There is Sebastian from The Little Mermaid. There is a Dumbo mention, and then Genie wears a goofy hat that's all like the Disney Easter eggs. As far as hidden Mickeys, I didn't find any, but I'm sure there is one somewhere. But yes, to the all the Easter eggs. Jafar sucks like a lot. He says, "Speechless I see, a fine quality in a wife. That's disgusting. I hate him. He's the worst. Shout out to Andreas Dejoff for animating him. He always animates the villains." And then Iago being just as grossed out as Abu about Jafar and Jasmine kissing is like one of the funniest things in the movie to me. I laugh so hard every time. It cracks me up. I love this movie to death. That is everything I have. I gave this movie a good old cry. So we have a cry count. I cry every time Aladdin sets the genie free and they have like their moment. I cry. It's so good. And yeah, that's all I got. This movie gets 10 lamps out of 10. It was 10s across the board. I don't know if I've given 10s across the board yet. I think I might have given like a 9 somewhere in Beauty and the Beasts because of the bestiality and the Stockholm Syndrome, because I'm a stickler. But this 10s across the board, 10 lamps out of 10. Our total movie count is... Our cry count is... Parental is still the same. If you want to keep up with the movie I'm watching when, follow me on Instagram, Twitter. You'll find out what movie I'm watching when. I put out videos every Monday and Friday and sometimes Wednesday. Join my Patreon. Please, there are 4 tiers, $7, $13, $24, and $49. Lots of good stuff on all tiers. So go join those because I really want to do my giveaways. And if I have like one, if I have one patron, they'll get the giveaway. So join. Also, still doing the soft launch merch. If you've gotten merch, post pictures, tag me somewhere. I want to see you in the merch. I want to see how it looks. So please go do that. It is not like the super official merch. I don't know how I'm feeling about the company yet. So all that. Thanks so much. Until next time, comment, subscribe, not yourself. You are, so you do. And don't be Jafar about it. Seriously, wow. Badrul Bador. Yikes. Princess Badrul Bador. Badrul Bador. Okay. Does the genie become rich, powerful, and to marry Princess Badrul Bador? Okay. Aladdin uses the genie to become rich, powerful, and to marry Princess Badrul Bador. Oh, God. Princess Badrul Bador. 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 Badrul Bador.